We come to the fifth and final talk for this hour at the cross. And as I said earlier, I've taken it not from Luke's Gospel. We've finished the account, Luke's account of the crucifixion, but from Matthew's Gospel, where Jesus speaks about his death. Again, reading from Tom Wright's translation. This is Matthew 16, verses 21 to 28. From then on, Jesus began to explain to his disciples that he would have to go to Jerusalem and suffer many things from the elders, chief priests, and scribes, and be killed and raised on the third day. Peter took him and began to tell him off. "That's the last thing God would want, Master," he said. "That's never, ever going to happen to you." Jesus turned on Peter. "Get behind me, Satan," he said. "You're trying to trip me up. You're not looking at things like God does. You're looking at things like a mere mortal." Then Jesus said to his disciples, "If anyone wants to come after me, they must give themselves up and pick up their cross and follow me. Yes, if someone wants to save their life, they must lose it. And if anyone loses their life for my sake, they will find it. What use will it be otherwise if you win the whole world and forfeit your true life? What will you give to get your life back? You see, the Son of Man is going to come in the glory of the Father with his angels, and then he will reward everyone for the work they have done. I'm telling you the truth. Some of those standing here will not taste death until they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom." Jesus himself knew what was going to happen. It was clearly part of God's great plan to reconcile the world to himself. But as we see here, the disciples, represented by Peter, I think Peter was often their mouthpiece, said what was on everybody else's mind, and is probably on our mind. And they just couldn't get it. They could not get what Jesus was saying. A dead Messiah to them was a meaningless Messiah. But they had nothing. But they hadn't noticed what Jesus actually said. That he would be raised on the third day. Or as the New International Version puts it, on the third day, he would be raised to life. But I want to end this service by encouraging us to reflect on verses 24 to 26. Tom Wright's version again. "If anyone wants to come after me, they must give themselves up and pick up their cross and follow me. Yes, if someone wants to save their life, they must lose it. And if anyone loses their life for my sake, they will find it. What use will it be otherwise if you win the whole world but forfeit your true life?" In effect, Jesus is saying how important it is to live this life in the light of eternity. This time of self-isolation, of enforced isolation, may seem tough. It is for many. It's hard. We're not used to it. And we may well find ourselves asking, why? What's it all about? But at the very least, it gives us time to step back from the manicness of our ordinary lives and ask ourselves, what are we doing with our lives? What's this life all about? Are we living the life that God has called us to? Just this week, I came across this challenge from Dave Hollis. in the rush to return to the normal, use this time to consider which parts of the normal are worth rushing back to. Jesus endured the cross for you and me. How can we live our lives in gratitude? Thank you for spending this time with me, this rather unusual Good Friday. And let's conclude by saying together one of the collects for today. Eternal God, in the cross of Jesus, we see the cost of our sin and the depth of your love. In humble hope and fear, may we place at his feet all that we have and all that we are through Jesus Christ our Lord.